everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stumbling across my video, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for, of course, sticking around. I got a new light. I got like a bigger ring light, so I'm trying to figure out like my setup now, so bear with me. I'm just trying to figure everything out, and I feel like I'm sitting really low and I can't get my chair up any higher, but we're gonna go with it for today. I know I missed the upload the other day. This is actually my second time recording this video because the first time I made it, I didn't like it, and I did more research and I realized how much information I actually left out. So I just wanted to redo it. And I wasn't in, like, truthfully, I wasn't in like the best headspace when I recorded the video anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I did the video and I didn't really like it. And like I said, I left out like a lot of information unintentionally, and I just took some time and just, you know, I wanted to come back to it because I really do care about the people that we talk about. I don't know them, but I do care about them, and I just wanted to give the case everything that I could. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, I want the video to be good. So anyway, I always forget to ask if you could please like my videos and also subscribe to my channel if you do like what you see. I'm just trying to figure, like I said, everything out with my new setup, and I keep looking at the light, and I got a microphone, and I really hope it works, and I don't know how loud I'm supposed to talk now, and I always feel like my voice is nails on a chalkboard anyway. But anyway, today's video is going to be set in Iowa, and it's going to be about Jodi Huisentruit. So without further ado, let's get into it. Play the intro. Jodi Huisentruit was born on June 5th, 1968. At the making of this video, she's been missing for 26 years and 5 months. She was born in Long Prairie, Minnesota, to Maurice and Imogen, and she was the youngest daughter. Jodi was really good at golf. She actually excelled at the sport, and she was on the golf team at her school. They went to the state tournament and actually won the Class A tournament in 1985 and 1986. She attended St. Cloud State and studied mass speech and communications while there. Eventually, she graduated with a bachelor's degree in 1990. When she graduated, she took a job with Northwest Airlines. And eventually, Jodi started her broadcasting career with KGN in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. KGAN is a CBS affiliate, or it was at the time. She was a bureau chief while there, and bureau chiefs, when I did my research, are people that will do things often like a news reporter would. They write the news and they also edit the pieces. Eventually, Jodi moved back to Minnesota after working in Iowa for some time, and she actually took a job with another affiliate channel, except this time it was called KSAX in Alexandria, Minnesota, which was an ABC affiliate. Jodi eventually made her way back down to Iowa and took a position in Mason City at KIMT. Jodi had a very busy social life. The weekend of June 23rd and June 25th, Jodi went to Iowa City for water skiing. In attendance was John Vanside and his son, and 2 women named Annie Cruz and Tammy Baker. The weekend before that, she was hanging out with Tammy at her apartment, at Jodi's apartment, and they went to Clear Lake, which is, I think, about 20 minutes, not even. I'm kind of familiar with it, but not really. I've been there a few times, but anyway, she lived in Mason City, and then they went to Clear Lake, and they went boating, and they went dancing. On June 26th, one day before she went missing, Jodi participated in a golf tournament. John Vanside, a resident of Mason City and a very close friend of Jodi, said that after the tournament, they went back to John's house and watched a video. The video was of a birthday party that he had thrown for Jodi a few weeks prior. John and Jodi had a lot in common. They both liked to water ski, and they both really enjoyed boating. John was reportedly the last person to see Jodi alive, and he quickly became a suspect in her disappearance. On June 27, 1995, a producer at KIMT realized that Jodi hadn't shown up for work yet, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. Jodi was supposed to have been there by 3:30. She called Jodi, and Jodi answered and said that she had overslept, but she was on her way, that she was getting ready to leave. The producer said that Jodi had occasionally been late before, but that she always showed up on time to get the news out. By 6 a.m., Jodi still wasn't there, so the same producer actually filled in for Jodi that morning on the show called Daybreak. Around 7 a.m., 3 hours after Jodi was last heard from, she still hadn't shown up yet, so the KIMT team actually called the police department. The police went to Jodi's apartment and saw that her red Mazda Miata was still in the parking lot. There was also evidence of a struggle. One of her car keys was bent, and her red shoe was also found on its side, as if she was maybe pulled out of it and she was fighting back. There were also drag marks on the ground, and her hairdryer was also thrown about. They also found a palm print on her car. Jodi's car was only 12 feet away from the entrance of her building. John Van Sy and 2 other men showed up to the apartment complex. John also gave information to the cops for mutual friends and acquaintances of the two, so like their phone numbers, to see if maybe anybody had heard from Jodi. Investigators on her case spoke to about 3 different neighbors, and each neighbor said that they reportedly heard screaming around the time that Jodi would have left her apartment. Nobody called the police. Another neighbor said that a white van was parked with its lights on in the parking lot of the apartment, and the van was also running around the same time that Jodi would have left. The van has never been identified. Her car was eventually towed and taken in for evidence. Jodi had only owned the car for a few weeks before her disappearance. The lake near her apartment complex was also searched, but nothing was found. No evidence, no sign of Jodi. They also searched her desk at KIMT, and they found nothing. In September of 1995, Jodi's family hired a private investigator in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They got help from an additional investigator in Omaha, Nebraska, and they went on shows like America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries. In November of 1994, Jodi's family and the 2 investigators went to Los Angeles, California, and met with 3 well-known psychics. The meeting was televised for a show called Psychic Detectives. Each show produced a number of leads, but nothing ever came from it. In May of 1996, around 100 volunteers in the Mason City area searched an area of Cerro Gordo County, which is the county of Mason City, and they planted flags on things that they thought were suspicious. After the search, the police went back and looked at every little flag that was planted to see if they found anything, if anything struck them of suspicion. Unfortunately, nothing ever came of that either. In July of 1996, the show 48 Hours went to Mason City and met with John Van Sy and Jodi's family, who had come down from Minnesota. He told 48 Hours, and I quote, "I hope she's okay, and I hope she can come back soon." John passed a polygraph, but he was still not told that he was a person of interest or a suspect in the case. A friend of John's named LaDonna Woodford actually said that she called John really early in the morning, and it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and that he was home, and then the 2 met up and went for a walk around the neighborhood. In the 20 plus years that Jodi Huisentruit has been missing, police have done over 1,000 interviews, but nothing has come out of those. The show 2020 has covered Jodi's case 3 times. In 1998, a farm in Tiffin, Iowa, which is a town a few hours away from Mason City, was searched. It was searched because of a song, a rap song, it had lyrics in it, and it was kind of alluding to Jodi maybe being buried in like a water tower or just in the area. So they went and they searched. The 2 people that they interviewed are on the you-know-what offenders list. And they were interviewed and they denied any involvement in Jodi's case. One of the offenders actually lived about 2 blocks away from KIMT, where Jodi worked. That search unfortunately turned up nothing either. So 10 years after her disappearance, the police released crime scene photos that they took that day. You can see her car being towed, her shoe that was flipped over on its side, and her bent car key. You can also see drag marks on the ground. Jodi had a journal, and the weekend before she actually made an entry. There was a last one, and she wrote about how much fun she had the prior weekend with John and their friends on the boat. John had apparently named his boat after Jodi, but it was never actually printed on the boat. In June of 2008, someone mailed the Mason City Globe-Gazette 84 pages of Jodi's personal journal in a large envelope with no return address. And it was sent from Waterloo, Iowa, about an hour and a half, about 2 hours away from Mason City. It turned out to be the wife of the former police chief of Mason City, and they were never able to figure out how she got a hold of the journal or why she sent those pages in. One of the theories surrounding Jodi's case is that maybe she was a victim of stalking. In October of 1994, she actually told people in her circle that while she was out for a jog one morning, she thought she was being followed by someone in a black truck. Jodi probably would have been an easy target, so to speak, because of her job. You know, she is on TV and she's very well known. Mason City is in a very big area. And then also her address, her phone number, and her apartment number were listed on a public directory. Her apartment also faced the parking lot, so I believe it was the 2nd floor, but you could still probably see her apartment if you're in the parking lot. However, the police, even after all this, don't think that stalking is a strong theory. Although Jodi was declared legally dead in May of 2001, she's never been forgotten. A year after she disappeared, her co-workers at KIMT actually planted a tree outside in her memory, and over the years it has grown. In 2003, 2 journalists named Josh Benson and Gary Peterson created a website called findjodi.com. The group has grown to include a bunch of former reporters and a retired detective. In 2005, her family created a foundation called Jodi's Network of Hope. Since the foundation has started, they have awarded over $40,000 in scholarships. There is a granite bench dedicated in her memory at the Long Prairie Country Club in Minnesota, where she is from, and it's on the 10th hole. In June 2018, which would have been Jodi's 50th birthday, the team at findjodi.com placed a number of billboards around Mason City to help generate leads. In 2017, police served John Van Sy with a search warrant. They wanted to put GPS monitors on his trucks, and they wanted to take the trucks, or his cars, whatever vehicles he had, even though at the time of Jodi's disappearance, he didn't have those vehicles. He didn't own them. 5 years later, the warrant is still sealed, so we don't know exactly what the warrant said. In 2019, the billboards for Jodi were actually graffitied. Somebody wrote the name of a former detective and also wrote the words machine shed on the billboard. They don't know who did it, and they don't know why. John Van Sy was also subpoenaed by a grand jury. He was supposed to give them DNA, fingerprints, and a print of his palm. And even after all that, no charges were filed against him. When Jodi Huisentruit disappeared, she was between 5'3" and 5'4", and weighed around 110 to 120 pounds. She has blonde hair and brown eyes, and she also has her ears pierced. She was 27 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was considered endangered and missing. If you have any information regarding Jodi's disappearance, please reach out to the Mason City Police Department or the FBI or your local law enforcement agency, and I'm sure that they can assist you in the right direction. The phone number for the Mason City Police Department is 515-421-3636. I would love to know what you guys think, of course, about what happened to Jodi. I do ask that you remain respectful in the comments below, as always. Please let me know what you think. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you're a praying person, please pray for Jodi and her family. And remember, at the end of the day, we are all somebody, someone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.